Alright, let's get this show started. Screencast. Okay, we're going to be looking at a live update press conference from the Fort Worth Dallas Police about Atatiana Jefferson.
You knew that was the only person in there, and they were actively firing upon you at the time. As we've been releasing video and trying to do it quicker, that is something we've done in the past, is to include the photograph of the firearm to show what the perceived threat may have been. In hindsight, it was a bad thing to do. I think it was to show that there was a weapon involved. However, we're homeowners in the state of Texas. I can't imagine most of us, if we thought we had somebody outside our house they shouldn't be and we had access to a firearm, that we wouldn't act very similarly to how she acted.
Was she holding a weapon?
I don't have that information to comment.
Do we have any idea where the weapon was located in the home at the time of the shooting?
It was located just inside the window.
So, with that being said, you are very sympathetic to the problematic nature of showing that.
I am.
So, what was the instinct that made that occur? And what is there going to be any disciplinary? Occur? And what is there going to be any disciplinary action to those who, again, demonize another victim?
I don't know. We'll do disciplinary action on that, but definitely we need to review what we did, why we did that, and when it's appropriate, when it's not appropriate.
Criminal charges you filed against the officer?
I will have an update for you tomorrow on the criminal investigation.
Chief, break down, a lot of people have been saying welfare check because Mr. Smith was concerned for the neighbor and called a non-emergency number.
Like, I don't see what criminal charges they could bring against him in this little script. I guess again they can go the way they did the Amber Gaga movie and charge him with murder and give him 10 years. That's about it.
I know that the response...
Bringing up she had a gun, they want to advance the agenda towards that way. That's one of the agendas coming out of this, is guns. And citizens having guns.
Call was to an open structure. Can you say what the protocol is when officers are responding to an open structure call from a non-emergency number?
The officers do not know if that call came in through 911 or non-emergency. They both go to the same dispatcher. An open structure call is something that you would typically park down the street and approach cautiously. Welfare check is something that doesn't require quite a heightened response.
And so from Mr. Smith's call, it was not taken as a welfare call?
That appears to be accurate.
Do you know if the officer showed up just in a regular patrol car? Was he part of a different type of unit?
No, it's patrol.
Chief, did the officers fire from within the fenced-off backyard? And if so, did they knock on the front door first?
There's no indication they knocked on the front door, and yes, they did fire from the backyard.
Would you expect him to knock on the door or ring the doorbell acknowledging their presence there and something like?
My video is still not showing up in the live search list. They done changed the spelling of her name again. Like, why y'all changing the spelling of her name again? Good Lord. Well, I'm live right now. We're looking at the press conference. And really, I want to look at some other videos I noticed. You see Atani. I don't know. You don't know why they changed her name.
She is being treated as a witness officer.
The spelling of her indeed.
I guess who's pushing the narrative? Ricky Smiley. Let's go over to Ricky Smiley. Let's hear what Ricky Smiley got to say. Yeah, just like Ricky Smiley, coon ass Ricky.
About anything, and I love that.
And Roger Pope, allegedly a promoter from Def Jam Records, pictures of every woman that he slept with in his own car, drives up, and the police officer, instead of knocking on the door, he goes to the back of the house with a flashlight, shine the flashlight up in the window. He sees a shadow in the house, and he tells her to get her hands up. And 0.9 of a, if I'm not mistaken, what Sean King posted, 0.9 of a second, he said, get your hands up, pow, right then. Not 10 seconds, not 20 seconds.
That Sean King is a paid sheeple back in that Black Lives Matter 2015 crap. I don't give a fuck what Sean King has to say, or Ricky Smiley, or any ignorant, black, white, orange, ignorant, I don't care.
And that's what they reported. They didn't identify the police officer that shot her, but they reported to just try to get. We got Pastor Frederick Douglass Haynes on the phone, the senior pastor of Friendship West Missionary Baptist Church, on the phone. Pastor Haynes.
Ricky Smiley, how you doing, bro?
Man, it's. I know we hadn't talked to you in a minute, but this is crazy.
It's insane, Rick. And the sad thing is, and we see this play out over and over again, they're going to talk about the gun that was found in her house. Rick, if you see or hear someone outside your door at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, just like in the updated press conferences, the police were talking about the gun found in the house, which they didn't see her pointing no gun, which again, you're not supposed to be shooting people through a window. Real or not, you're not supposed to be shooting people through a window, especially when you trespassing on their property. I don't care if you have a badge, you're still trespassing. So, and the law applies to you. If you're trespassing on somebody's property, you are in for the line of fire.
In the morning, if you have access to a gun, what are you going to do? You're going to go and get the gun. And so what we're not going to allow is for them to indict and convict this wonderful 28-year-old sister, graduate student, Atatiana Jefferson. We're not going to let them indict her character when the one who should be indicted for murder is this police.
There's no way to indict her character, because in the body count footage, you don't see her pointing a gun or anything. You don't see police confronting her one-on-one. You see police doing their little act, going around her back, see somebody in the window and shoot. Like, it's not illegal to hold a gun in America. It's not illegal to have guns. Even though they want to make it illegal for you to have a gun. That's you, as in black, white, or whoever the hell you are, they want to make it illegal. But this has nothing to do with guns. Well, it has a lot to do with guns. It has something to do with race, but really don't have nothing to do with race, because race is fictional and made up in this society. Fictional and made up in this society. So I'm going to say this is about guns, gun control, and bringing race hate upon the nation.
Officer whose name we still do not know. So what they're trying to do right now is establish this narrative that somehow the police officer was threatened, even though the police officer never identified himself. So the video we've seen so far, there is not any evidence that the police officer said, "Police, put your hands up," or something like that says this is a person who is assigned to serve and protect. Instead, as Sean King points out, in less than a second, this man hauls off and shoots this 28-year-old woman in front of her little nephew, who we must pray for. God knows we have to pray for the little nephew. We have to pray for the family of Miss Jefferson.
Okay, in this script, I don't think the nephew was right beside her when the gunshots went off. I don't even think he saw it. In this script. Wink, wink.
Have to pray even for the person who was calling.
And again, F. Sean King, that little coon Sean King, just like Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. He's nothing but another Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson. Because those niggas getting old. So, there you go. That's why it's Sean King.
A welfare call to make sure that the house was all right, because his call was based on what? The door of the house is open. It's been open since 10 p.m. I'm concerned. And so he's calling for the police not to go and kill someone, but to make sure the person inside the house is okay. It's called serving and protecting. And so the reality is that we have, again, and here's the thing that's going to mess you up, Rick. Since June 1st, there have been 7 police officer involved shootings in Fort Worth. 6 of them have resulted in the deaths of the individuals that have been shot. And so the sad reality is that this ain't new to Fort Worth. It's not new to Fort Worth. It's not new to Dallas. It's not new to any major metropolitan city where there is a police force. Why? Because the policing system in this nation is rooted in its DNA in what? The convict leasing system, the slave patrols, and all of that is a result of trying to...
Let's back up here. The American culture itself has been rooted in racism. The culture itself ain't got nothing to do with police. In the whole, it's police, black people, white people, Mexicans. You're all racist. Your country is rooted in racist. You're born into racism. You're taught racism. You're taught to be separated and divided. You're taught to be prejudiced. You're taught this. By whom? I'll let y'all figure that out yourself. But blacks can't deny their racism against blacks. That's a fact. Whites can't deny their racism against white. And so on and so on.
Control black bodies. It's never been about serving and protecting us, but instead a weapon of social control and oppression. And so my thing is, getting back to this, Rick, we cannot allow them.
The weapon of social control and oppression has always been the media and the ones that own the media. The number one weapon. Which is why you have racist cops and racist people of all colors.
They indict the character of Miss Jefferson. This was a wonderful woman. And listen, you ain't got to be perfect in order to live. She should be living today if the police had been responsible. And so as far as I'm concerned, we're going to protect her reputation and character. We're talking about a wonderful woman here. We're going to pray for and support the family, especially that wonderful 8-year-old nephew. And we are going to call for justice because this police officer murdered her because it took him less than a second to make up his mind. I'm shooting this person without identifying myself as a police officer.
Boy, it's so funny. I ain't seen nobody, but everybody. And Pastor Haynes, you don't even have to respond to this if you don't want to, because I ain't trying to put you on the spot. Oh boy, white people know they posted that doggone hug and that forgiveness thing, but I bet I ain't seen one of them post a video. So why aren't you outraged at the video?
Exactly.
Somebody said it on Facebook and was dead on point. You won't post a video where the white police officer went in there and shot that innocent, unarmed at the time, black woman while she was in her own home. But boy, you sure did post Judge Tammy's hug pictures all over Facebook and want to talk about forgiveness. But everybody that posted that video, ain't none of y'all posted none of the videos where white police officers go.
Yeah, and black people was talking about the hug. You had majority blacks putting down on Christ, putting down on God, putting down on forgiveness, knowing they black asses was forgiven once in a time, once in a blue moon, they were being forgiven. So the narrative he's pushing, let's rewind, about white people posting this, posting that. It wasn't just whites. You had blacks who agreed with the hug. You had Mexicans who agreed with the hug. You had people, humans of all freaking so-called colors, who agreed with the hug.
Gunning down unarmed at the time black woman while she was in her own home. But boy, you sure did post Judge Tammy's hug pictures all over Facebook and want to talk about forgiveness. But everybody that posted that video, ain't none of y'all posted none of the videos where white police officers gunning down black people. Won't post that video.
No, they're not going to do that because, again, they get caught up in the hug and the forgiveness that is sweat.
And if you look on YouTube now, you'll see a white person who posted a video about Atatiana Jefferson being murdered by the police. And the white person agrees she was murdered by the police, and he's not like racist like most blacks and most whites are racist, because I see a lot of racist blacks who's racist towards blacks. I'm repeating myself. You got whites racist towards whites, Mexican racist towards Mexicans. You don't believe me? Then you haven't stepped outside before then. Because I see the prejudice from black on black prejudice, white on white prejudice, Mexican on Mexican prejudice. But again, there's a white guy who posted a video less than 30 minutes ago saying she was murdered. And he seemed to be taking the side of the community that this police officer was wrong. So he has the video, and he agrees with the community in this script that let's say Tiana Jefferson was murdered. Let's get back to Ricky Smiley. This coon Ricky Smiley, and whoever he's on the phone with, which is another coon.
Wages white guilt at the expense of black healing and black humanity. And so we use forgiveness to free white people and the white injustice system for their...
Okay, I thought this video was going to suck, but he giving me some good material. Let's rewind 10 seconds and see the rhetoric and hate he's preaching. The nonsense this coon is preaching. It's nonsense. Of course there's race, like I said, it's racist white people and racist black people. White people are racist towards blacks. Blacks are racist towards whites. Whites are racist towards whites. Blacks are racist towards blacks. And so on and so on. And prejudice towards each other. It don't stop there. Let's hear what he said again.
Black humanity. And so we use for up in the hug and the forgiveness that assuages white guilt at the expense of black healing and black humanity. And so we use forgiveness to free white people and the white injustice system for their sins and their evil.
Okay. He says they use forgiveness, and he's talking about the Bible, because the Bible was the whole thing in this Amber Geiger, the end of her trial. You can see it on the closed caption. One more time. One more time.
We use forgiveness to free white people and the white injustice.
He said, we use forgiveness to free white people and white injustices in the system. No. If you know about the Bible and God, we use forgiveness because God forgives us for our sins and our trespasses. Therefore, if we can't forgive somebody else for their trespasses and their wrong, why should God forgive us? We're born to forgive people. Doesn't mean they shouldn't be like condemned and sent to jail. Yes, a criminal should be sent to jail, but you shouldn't be walking around. I don't care what color you associate yourself with. You can associate yourself with the color baby blue. You can associate yourself as non-binary or sexual orientation, all that shit. It doesn't matter about the color here. And this seems like this person is attacking the Bible. It doesn't matter if it was white injustice, black injustice. Because as you can see, the judge was black and they had black jurors.
System for their sins and their evil, but it's always at the expense of black healing and black humanity. And as far as I'm concerned, you're a part of the problem and not a part of the solution.
As far as I'm concerned, Ricky Smiley and this guy on the phone is a part of the problem, part of the divide and conquer problem. Because this is straight ignorance I'm hearing. You can reverse this and say the same thing about whites. Whites forgiving blacks for killing somebody they knew. How about that? A white person forgive a black murderer for killing their daughter and hugs their daughter in court, hugs the murderer in court, or says in court in a speech, I forgive him for what he did. But you, as far as condemnation goes, your condemnation, you still go to jail. I mean, you still going to jail. Even though we forgive you, you still go to jail for your crime. Even if you wasn't convicted, you was found not guilty, but we know you did it, you would still be forgiven. No, you're not going. Reason you don't hold grudges and don't forgive people is because it builds up. It builds up a hate in your heart that you will go out and hurt people. So that you will, like the Rodney King riots back in 92, 91, when Rodney King and the officers was let go of the Rodney King beating. Okay, back in those riots, you saw all those black people go on the street and start harming white people. Black people had shootouts with Asians in California. So I'm not getting what I'm getting what he's saying. I'm getting where he's coming from as a coon, cause he's doing a lot of coonery. But again, a white person will forgive a black person. If that was the black officer who shot a white man in his apartment and only got 10 years, you better believe the mom will forgive the man, the black officer, for shooting their white son. It works both ways, y'all. Goes both ways. Just so happen they don't show all the white incidents. They just don't show. They want black people to be outraged, go out there, do whatever crime, do some bullshit, be mad. Like when you don't look at it from both perspectives, you don't look at reality. You're not looking at reality. And there's one channel I saw, they said something real good. They gave a real good statement I wanted to tell everybody. Something about black people wanted to be, even though black people may know that it's wrong, they just want to argue and be upheaved and be mad anyway. Even if someone tries to present you with logic, sense, you don't want to take the logic. You just want to go ahead and be mad and argue and go out there and do dumb shit. Let's get back to this interview.
If all you want to focus in on is feeling good about a hug, feeling good about quote-unquote forgiveness, and Rick, here's the thing that trips me out about that whole hugging video is ain't nobody talking about what Mama John said, the mother of Botham John. Mother of Botham John said, I'll deal with this forgiveness in time because I don't believe in forgiveness without consequences. But Dallas, you got a corrupt police department that deleted evidence, that covered up a crime, and you...
I believe in forgiveness without consequences because God believes in forgiveness without consequences because God has mercy. And God, even though God will send people to hell, though, but God will show some mercy and God will send some to hell. So, I mean, the consequence was she got 10 years, Mr. Botham Jean Mom. She got 10 years, Mr. Actor Botham Jean Mom. There was a consequence for her action. She got convicted. She was forgiven. Even if she wasn't convicted, she would still be forgiven.
You need to deal with the corruption in your policing system. Now, they ain't talking about that, just like they're not talking about the injustice and the murder that took place in the life of this 28-year-old, beautiful, brilliant sister, Miss Jefferson. They're not going to post that because they're too busy trying to assuage their guilt because they know they continue to assault the humanity of black people repeatedly with a policing system that never was designed to serve and protect us. And until...
Let's go back to Malcolm X. You live in a racist society. The police system wasn't designed to protect white, black, or orange people. Especially when you have racist black people or racist white people. When you got white cops who shoot white kids for nothing. And I don't see blacks talking about that. I don't see blacks talking about the white cops killing white kids. I don't see that. I don't see blacks standing up for white injustices. I don't see blacks standing up for white crime, or y'all get what I'm saying. It's not just about black. I'll show you video. I know I did a video on a cop who shot a white guy after he got out of his car. And the guy didn't have a gun on him, didn't show a gun or nothing. I guess he didn't like the white person attitude and shot the white guy or the white boy because he was a young man. So again, blacks not here standing up for white on white crimes, white cops on white crimes. All right, I mean,
we correct this system, until we redo this system, we're going to have this thing on repeat over and over again. And I'm sorry, but forgiveness and hugging ain't going to...
Until you correct the system, we'll get rid of race and racism. Stop telling people they're black, white, and orange. Because y'all weren't born black, white, or orange. They told you were black, white, and orange. I don't care if you think you're a color. Really don't care. So you want to change the system, then change the way you do humanity. Change the way your society thinks. And you're not helping by always painting so-called blacks in a bad picture, or trying to use so-called blacks to start so-called race wars or whatever is going on, however they want to push this. Now change the mind of your society in whole. Well, don't put race on applications and this and that. Don't let people see race. How about that? That's not naive. That's really smart.
Pick the system that's jacked up.
And if that white police officer that killed her served one day in jail, Ricky Smiley would become the senior pastor at Friendship West Missionary Baptist Church, and Pastor Frederick Douglass Haynes would be taking over the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. You can believe
I know
that.
That's right.
You can. Hey, Pastor Haynes, man, I love you so much, man.
I love you, Ricky. Thank you for doing this.
I love you, Pastor Haynes, man, because you, Pastor Jamal Bryant, and a few others are some of the...
Okay, he just gonna say thanks to whoever. Yeah, Ricky Smiley is a coon. That pastor is a coon. I've seen there's a lot of pastors out there who are devil worshippers. It's a lot of naive, ignorant pastors who are sellouts. You got sellouts in the church. You got churches, white or black, carrying the gay flag inside the church and hanging it inside the church. I mean, you got a lot of devil shit going on in the church and outside the church when it comes to these pastors. And these pastors getting paid. And these pastors getting paid for doing corrupt shit. Like misleading the masses. Getting paid to mislead the masses.
The only...
Okay, let's do one more video because I'm going to do another live around 5 o'clock. Y'all go check out Ricky Smiley if you want to. You know, y'all can check out Ricky Smiley if you want to. We're going to watch later. Now, this is a good one.
For years.
Let's read the title. America has declared war on blacks. Atatiana Jefferson, Joshua Brown, and etc. So, hopefully we don't hear too much ignorance in this. Because I don't know what she meaning by America. Is she being racist and saying white people, or is she talking about the government, the corrupt government itself, has declared war on its citizens? Okay, ain't no war being declared. Ain't nobody declaring war either. This ain't no card game. This ain't I declare war. Let's play the video.
And it's really out of control. It's sickening. It's disgusting. And I don't understand why they are even allowed to even show these images to the world. Show these images.
Let's go back to the beginning.
This is a sad day in America because America has declared war on blacks. Now they're using the Texas Police Department to do it. But this has been going on for years, and it's really out of control.
Okay, war itself was declared on American citizens hundreds of years ago when racism was introduced, or race. I mean, when the media started pushing blacks as negative, in a negative light, I mean, the government declared war on its people. I'm not even going to... go as far as saying declare war, but they declare ignorance on their people, and they push ignorance on blacks and whites and everybody else. Cause y'all know we all supposed to come together, and we're all just human, right? I'm just saying, we're all just human. So I mean, whatever blacks are going through, whites are going through too. Cause just like I said, whites are racist, blacks are racist. Like we're doing the same thing to each other and against one another. We're doing the same things to each other and against one another. So it's not like whites aren't experiencing oppression and being brainwashed. They're just as much brainwashed and oppressed as blacks. Let's not get into who has this amount of money, because money has nothing to do with racism and being oppressed. A rich white guy can be shot in his house just like a poor black person can. All because the cop has a prejudice towards that person. All because that cop has a corrupt mind. Because again, you're born into a racist society. To black people, you're born into a racist society. To white people, you're born into a racist society. Period.
Oh, it's sickening, it's disgusting, and I don't understand why they are even allowed to even show these images to the world. Show these images on TV of the cops open fire, against Atatiana Jefferson, and why this woman, Amber Geiger, was allowed to shoot and kill this man in his home. These people are getting killed at home. Okay, so that's going to make black people not want to answer the door for cops. I mean, it's...
You got a lot of white people who don't want to answer the door for cops. Maybe because they got a bunch of cocaine on the table they've been snorting. Maybe because they're hiding something in the house or hiding someone in the house. Yeah, blacks and whites who don't want to answer the door for police. I mean, come on.
It's like they want to be at war with black people. And then if black people were to retaliate, then, oh, you guys are the victim. No.
Fuck.